The massive crystal dome of the Galactic Council chamber stretched high above the gathering of the most powerful beings in the known universe. Thousands of representatives from hundreds of species sat in ascending rings, their forms varying from crystalline structures to gaseous clouds contained in special chambers. The air hummed with translation devices and diplomatic shields, creating a gentle background noise that had become the signature sound of galactic politics. Today was supposed to be a routine session. The council had gathered to discuss trade routes and minor border disputes. Nobody expected anything significant from the human representative who had requested speaking time. The human walked to the center platform. He was a middle-aged man wearing a simple black uniform with Earth's planetary emblem, a blue sphere with olive branches. No weapons, no ceremonial dress, nothing to suggest the gravity of what was about to unfold. "Honorable members of the council," he began, his voice clear and steady. "I come before you today with a message from Earth's united government." High Counselor Vale, a towering being of pure energy contained within an ornate suit of advanced technology, leaned forward slightly. "Proceed, Earth representative," they said, their tone carrying the bored patience of someone humoring a child. "For the past 3 years, colonies in Earth's designated expansion zone have suffered raids. Ships have been destroyed. Civilians have been killed. Our investigations have proven these attacks were carried out by members of the Crimson Empire, with the knowledge of several council races." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Crimson Empire's representatives, red-scaled beings known for their military might, shifted in their seats but said nothing. "We have filed 17 formal complaints. All were dismissed. We have requested investigations. All were denied." The human's voice remained calm, but now carried an edge that made several nearby representatives uncomfortable. "Therefore, we are issuing a final warning. Stop the raids on our colonies, or face the consequences." Laughter erupted from multiple sections of the chamber. The Crimson Empire's lead representative stood up, their scales gleaming under the chamber's lights. "You dare threaten us? Your species barely managed to reach your own moon a few centuries ago. Your ships are primitive. Your weapons are toys. Know your place, human." The Earth representative didn't flinch. He simply reached into his pocket and placed a small holographic projector on the platform. It activated, showing a 3-dimensional map of known space. "The red dots you see are the locations of every raid on our colonies," he said. Dozens of red points appeared. "The blue dots are the locations of every Crimson Empire military base involved in these raids." More dots appeared, matching perfectly with known secret installations that weren't supposed to be on any public record. The chamber fell silent. "You're wondering how we know this," the human continued. "You're wondering what else we know. You should be. This is your only warning. Stop the raids, or we will stop them for you." High Counselor Vale raised their hand. "Are you threatening military action before this council? Your species is not cleared for advanced weapon systems. Your fleet consists of barely 200 ships, none of which match even our civilian vessels in capability." The human smiled. Not a friendly smile, not a diplomatic smile. It was the kind of smile that made ancient predators pause. "What makes you think you know anything about our real fleet?" He picked up his projector and turned to leave. At the chamber's entrance, he stopped and looked back. "You have 3 days to recall all raiders and cease operations against human colonies. After that, we will take action. And you will learn that humanity has not been nearly as primitive as you assumed." The chamber exploded into chaos as he left. Arguments broke out between species. The Crimson Empire representatives huddled together, sending urgent messages to their homeworld. High Counselor Vale called for order, their energy form flickering with concern. Nobody noticed that the human representative's smile never wavered as he walked away. Nobody realized that humanity had just shown its hand for the first time in 3 centuries of galactic membership. The warning had been delivered. Now all they could do was wait. 3 days passed. The Crimson Empire ignored the warning. Their raiders attacked another human colony that very night, destroying 3 civilian transport ships. The message was clear. They would not be threatened by a lesser species. On the fourth morning, everything changed. The first signs came from the deep space monitoring stations around the Crimson Empire's home system. The sensors detected unusual energy readings, but the technicians ignored them. Their system had the best defenses in the outer ring. No enemy could possibly threaten them. They were wrong. At exactly 600 standard galactic time, space itself seemed to tear open. Massive black ships emerged from the tiers, their surfaces so dark they looked like holes in reality. No running lights, no energy signatures, no broadcasting signals, just silence. The Crimson Empire's defense fleet scrambled to respond. 5,000 warships, each one a masterpiece of galactic engineering, moved to protect their homeworld. Their commanders were confident. They had faced and defeated every major power in the galaxy at some point, but they had never faced anything like this. The human ships moved in perfect formation. Counts varied. Some said there were 300 ships. Others claimed 1,000. The black surfaces made it impossible to get an accurate count. They absorbed all scanning attempts, appearing as nothing more than shadows on the Empire's most advanced detection systems. Admiral Chorus of the Crimson Fleet sent out a demand for the human ships to identify themselves and retreat. His message echoed across space, unanswered. He sent another warning, threatening immediate destruction if they continued their approach. The black ships kept coming. "Open fire," Chorus ordered, his red scales darkening with anger. "Show these primitives what real power looks like." 5,000 ships fired at once. Energy weapons, plasma torpedoes, gravity bombs. The finest weapons in the galaxy lit up space with enough firepower to crack a small moon. The display was magnificent, a testament to the Empire's might. The human ships didn't fire back. They didn't need to. Every shot, every torpedo, every bomb simply vanished. There was no impact, no explosion, no shield flare. The weapons ceased to exist meters from the black hulls, as if space itself was swallowing them. Then the human ships began to move through the Crimson Formation. They didn't fire any weapons. They didn't launch fighters. They simply passed through the space occupied by Crimson ships. And wherever they passed, those ships disappeared. Not exploded, not destroyed. Simply ceased to exist, along with their crews, their weapons, and their pride. From the surface of the Crimson homeworld, it looked like a dance. The black ships moved with impossible grace, their formations shifting like schools of fish. Wherever they went, holes appeared in the mighty Crimson Fleet. Admiral Chorus watched in horror as his fleet vanished ship by ship. He sent out a distress call to the Galactic Council, breaking protocol and his own pride to beg for help. But help would come too late. Within 6 hours, the entire Crimson Defense Fleet was gone. 5,000 ships, the pride of their civilization, had vanished without firing a single effective shot. The black ships took up positions around the Crimson homeworld, still silent, still broadcasting no signals. Finally, a single message was transmitted, not just to the Crimson leadership, but to every communication device in the system. The warning was ignored. This is the consequence. Your military capability has been removed. Your raiders have been eliminated. Attempt to rebuild your war fleet, and we will return. Attempt to harm our colonies again, and your civilization will join your ships in oblivion. This is not a threat. This is a promise. The message ended. The black ships turned as one and vanished the same way they had appeared, leaving behind a stunned empire and a legend that would spread across the galaxy. Humanity had been holding back, and now everyone knew it. News of the Crimson Empire's defeat spread across the galaxy like a shockwave. The Galactic Council called an emergency session, but this time, the massive chamber was half empty. The Crimson Empire's seats remained vacant, their representatives too shaken to appear in public. The council members who did attend spoke in whispers, afraid that human spies might be listening. They had good reason to be afraid. Reports were still coming in about the extent of humanity's strike. Not only had the defense fleet been eliminated, but every military installation in the Crimson Empire had vanished. Weapon factories, training bases, secret research facilities, all gone without a trace. Even hidden facilities that the Council's best spies hadn't known about had disappeared. High Counselor Vale stood at the center platform, their energy form flickering with unusual patterns that suggested deep worry. "We must discuss what happened," they announced. "Our analysts have completed their initial reports." A holographic display appeared above the platform, showing recordings of the human attack. The black ships moved through space like living shadows. "As you can see," Vale continued, "the human ships appear to use technology we've never encountered. Our best scientists believe they're operating on principles we don't understand. We don't even know how many ships they have. Our sensors couldn't count them." A representative from the Science Guild stepped forward. She was a tall, thin being with gray skin and large eyes. "The weapons they used, or didn't use, are beyond our understanding. They seem to be capable of selective quantum elimination. They can remove matter from existence without affecting nearby objects." The chamber erupted in frightened discussions. Quantum elimination was supposed to be impossible. Several species had tried to develop it, but all had failed. "There's more," the scientist continued. "We've discovered that the humans have been watching us for centuries. They have observation posts throughout our territories, posts we never detected. They know everything about us, while we know nothing about them." Another representative stood up. "But how? They seem so primitive. Their ships used basic ion drives. Their colonies used simple force fields. They asked us for help with basic technologies." The answer came from an unexpected source. A small, round alien in the back of the chamber spoke up. "They fooled us. Every ship we saw, every colony we observed, they were decoys. The humans showed us what they wanted us to see." Evidence began appearing on the holographic display. Records of human technological development had been carefully crafted to show steady but slow progress. Their requests for technological help had been precisely calculated to reinforce this image. "They were never primitive," High Counselor Vale said quietly. "They were patient. They studied us, learned our weaknesses, developed technologies we never imagined, and they waited until they were ready." The Science Guild representative added another disturbing detail. "We found records suggesting their real colonies are hidden in dimensional pockets we can't detect. The colonies we've seen are just the surface. Their true civilization might be far larger than we thought." Fear filled the chamber. If the humans had hidden so much for so long, what else were they hiding? How powerful were they really? A message appeared on all screens in the chamber. No one had sent it. No one could trace its source. The words were simple. "We hide nothing now. We showed you our power because you forced our hand. We will attend the next council session. Be ready to discuss new terms for galactic peace." The message vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared. The council members looked at each other in silence. The galaxy's power structure had shifted in just 6 hours, and none of them knew what would happen next. High Counselor Vale spoke one last time. "We thought we were watching them, but they were watching us. And now we wait to learn what humanity really wants." The session ended early that day. As the representatives left, many looked over their shoulders, wondering if human ships were watching from the shadows of space. They were right to wonder. Humanity's silent victory was complete, and it was only the beginning. The Galactic Council had never seen such chaos. Species that hadn't spoken to each other in centuries now huddled together in corners, sharing information and theories about the humans. The Great Chamber, usually a place of order and ceremony, had become a center of panic and whispered fears. Military representatives from 30 different species gathered in an emergency meeting room. Their usual rivalries forgotten, they spread their intelligence reports on a large holographic table. "Look at this," said a blue-skinned commander, pointing to an image of Earth's solar system. We've been scanning their asteroid belt for centuries. It's just rocks and mining stations. But now, he pressed a button, and the image changed. Hidden chambers appeared inside the larger asteroids. Massive construction facilities, big enough to build thousands of ships, had been there all along. They built their real fleet inside the asteroids, another commander said. Every ship we saw coming and going was just for show. Their actual military never left their solar system until now. A tall, insect-like being clicked its mandibles nervously. But the technology, it's impossible. We've tried to develop matter elimination weapons for 10,000 years. How did they do it? The answer came from an unexpected source. A small data chip found in the human representative's empty office. When they played it, a simple message appeared. Since you're searching our office, you must be desperate for answers. Here's one. We didn't develop these technologies. We found them, and we learned from the past's mistakes. The Council's historians rushed to dig through ancient records. What they found shocked them. References to a long-lost human civilization that had reached the stars millions of years ago. A civilization that had vanished suddenly, with only fragments of its knowledge surviving. Modern humanity hadn't started from scratch. They had found their ancestors' legacy and spent centuries quietly rebuilding it, improving it, and preparing to prevent history from repeating itself. In the main chamber, High Counselor Vale tried to maintain order. We must stay calm, they announced. The humans have not attacked any peaceful worlds. They have only struck at military targets that threaten them. But what do they want? Someone shouted from the upper rings. Why reveal their power now? A new hologram appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed recordings from the Crimson Empire's raids on human colonies. But these recordings were different from the ones they'd seen before. They showed the colonists fighting back with basic weapons, appearing weak and vulnerable. Then the video changed, showing the same battles from a different angle. The colonists had been acting, putting on a show of weakness. Hidden defenses had tracked every raider. The humans had gathered evidence, documented every attack, and waited. They wanted legal justification, a legal expert realized. They could have stopped the raids at any time. But they needed to prove they were the defenders, not the aggressors. They built an airtight case before they acted. More revelations followed. Human refugees who had sought shelter on various worlds were actually observers, gathering intelligence. Trade missions had mapped defense systems. Diplomatic visits had tested security measures. Every human action for the past 3 centuries had been part of a careful plan. They had integrated themselves into galactic society while preparing for the moment someone would push them too far. High Counselor Vale received an urgent message. The humans had requested to address the Council again. Not in person this time. They would broadcast to all worlds simultaneously. The message was scheduled for the next day. That night, no one in the Council slept. They watched the skies, wondering if dark ships lurked in the shadows. Some checked their records, looking for signs they might have wronged humanity in the past. Others began drafting peace proposals. The galaxy's most powerful civilizations had discovered they weren't as powerful as they'd thought. And tomorrow, they would learn what humanity wanted to do with its newfound position of strength. The longest night in Council history had begun. Deep beneath the surface of Earth's moon lay a secret that had shaped human history for 3 centuries. In a vast chamber carved into the lunar rock, records of humanity's first journey to the stars were preserved. Today, for the first time, these records would be shared with the galaxy. The human representative stood in a simple room on Earth, broadcasting to every world in the Galactic Council. Behind him, holographic images began to play, showing scenes from Earth's ancient past. What you are about to see was discovered 300 years ago, he began. It changed our species forever. The images showed a magnificent civilization, Earth's first spacefaring culture. They had built beautiful cities that floated in the sky. Their ships had traveled between stars with ease. They had made friends among the stars, trading and sharing knowledge with other races. But then the images changed. strange ships appeared in Earth's ancient skies. A species that believed itself superior to all others had decided that humanity was developing too quickly, becoming too powerful. They struck without warning. The representative continued. They didn't want resources. They didn't want territory. They simply didn't want competition. The recording showed the devastating attack. Earth's first civilization fought bravely, but they had believed in peace. They hadn't built weapons powerful enough to defend themselves. Their floating cities fell from the sky. Their ships were destroyed. Their colonies were wiped out, but they had left a warning for their descendants. Deep underground bunkers were sealed before the final attack. Inside them, the survivors stored their most important technologies, their greatest discoveries, and a message for the future. To those who find this, learn from our mistake. We believed all advanced civilizations would value peace as we did. We were wrong. If humanity rises again, remember, true peace must be protected. Build your strength in secret. Make weapons that cannot be countered. And never, never reveal your full power until you must. The representative paused as the images faded. For 3 centuries, we followed their advice. We found their hidden bunkers. We studied their technologies. We improved upon them. And we watched the galaxy, learning from your mistakes as well as our own. New images appeared, showing human scientists working in secret facilities, testing quantum elimination technology, developing ships that could slit between dimensions, all based on the ancient knowledge, but refined and enhanced over centuries. We didn't want revenge, he continued. The species that destroyed our ancestors is long gone, destroyed by their own aggression. We wanted only to ensure that history would not repeat itself. The broadcast showed the construction of humanity's true fleet, hidden inside asteroids and dimensional pockets. It showed the development of defenses that could protect not just human worlds, but any peaceful civilization that needed help. We revealed ourselves only when we had to. The Crimson Empire's attacks forced our hand. But now that our true capabilities are known, we offer the galaxy a choice. The image shifted to show the black ships, now revealed to be more than just weapons. They were mobile research stations, diplomatic centers, and defense platforms all in one. We can help build a galaxy where strength protects peace, not threatens it, where advanced technology serves all species, not just a powerful few, where no civilization needs to fear being destroyed just for advancing too quickly. The representative's voice grew stronger. Our ancestors died because they weren't ready to defend themselves. We learned from their sacrifice. Now we offer to share that learning, not the weapons, but the wisdom, the understanding that peace is precious and must be protected. The broadcast ended with a final image, the ancient message from humanity's past, now written in every language in the galaxy. Never again, it read. Peace through strength, strength through wisdom, wisdom through remembrance. Across thousands of worlds, billions of beings considered these words and the ancient truth they revealed. Humanity had not built its power for conquest, but to prevent another tragedy like the one that had ended their first civilization. The galaxy would never be the same, and perhaps that was exactly what it needed. The galaxy held its breath. 12 hours after humanity revealed its ancient history, their black ships appeared simultaneously at 12 strategic points across known space. Each location was a major trade hub, a cultural center, or a key military installation. The sight of those ships, now known to be products of ancient human knowledge mixed with centuries of secret advancement, sent waves of panic through every world that could see them. But this time, humanity's message was different. The broadcast began without warning, appearing on every communication device in the galaxy. The same human representative who had revealed their history spoke again, his voice calm and firm. To all species of the Galactic Council, we bring terms of peace. In the council chamber, representatives from 1,000 worlds leaned forward, listening intently. Even High Counselor Vale's energy form had stilled completely. First, the human continued. We declare all unprovoked military attacks on developing civilizations to be crimes against galactic law. No species shall be destroyed or suppressed simply for advancing. Images appeared, showing various young civilizations that were just reaching for the stars. The black ships had taken positions to protect them, though these young races didn't even know they needed protection. Second, we offer our defensive technology to any peaceful world that requests it. Not weapons, we will not repeat the mistakes that led to the Crimson Empire's aggression, but shields, early warning systems, and emergency response beacons will be provided. The council chamber erupted in surprise murmurs. No species had ever freely shared advanced technology like this. Third, we established the Freedom of Development Treaty. Any civilization, old or young, has the right to advance at its own pace without interference. Those who violate this right will face consequences. The black ships shifted slightly in their positions, a subtle reminder of what those consequences might be. Fourth, we open our libraries of ancient knowledge. Knowledge that belongs to all sentient beings. Medical advances, environmental restoration techniques, sustainable energy systems, these will be shared freely. In the council chamber, the Science Guild representatives could barely contain their excitement. The secrets of humanity's past could advance every field of study by centuries. Fifth, we established the Galactic Defense Force, a voluntary organization open to all peaceful species. Together, we can ensure that no civilization ever faces destruction simply for existing. The human paused, letting the magnitude of these offers sink in. Then came the conditions. In return, we require only 3 things. 1. Immediate cessation of all unprovoked military actions against developing worlds. 2. Full disclosure of all known attacks on young civilizations in the past 1,000 years. 3. Your commitment to protecting the right of all species to develop without fear. The black ships moved again, taking up defensive positions around several vulnerable worlds. We do not seek to rule. We do not want an empire. We want only what our ancestors dreamed of, a galaxy where peace is protected by those strong enough to defend it. In the council chamber, representatives began to stand, one by one. Species that had been enemies for millennia looked at each other with new understanding. The human message continued. You have 24 hours to consider these terms. Those who accept will find in humanity a friend and ally beyond price. Those who refuse, he didn't need to finish the sentence. The black ships said enough. As the message ended, the galaxy faced its greatest choice in history. Accept humanity's terms and help build a new era of protected peace, or cling to old ways of power and risk facing the consequences. In the council chamber, High Counselor Vale spoke for many. They could have conquered us. Instead, they offer to protect us, even from ourselves. They raised their hands. I vote to accept. One by one, the votes came in. A new age was beginning, shaped by humanity's determination to prevent history from repeating itself. The terms of peace would change everything. And perhaps that was exactly what the galaxy needed. 1 year had passed since humanity revealed its true power to the galaxy. The Galactic Council chamber looked very different now. The rising tiers of seats remained the same, but the atmosphere had changed completely. Where once there had been tension and political games, now there was purposeful cooperation. Representatives from old enemy species sat together, working on joint projects. The human representative's seat, once placed in the lower rings, now stood in a position of honor, not above others, but among the most respected members. Today's session marked the first anniversary of the terms of peace. High Counselor Vale stood at the central platform, their energy form glowing with bright, positive patterns. In 1 year, they announced, we have achieved more progress than in the previous 1,000 years combined. The holographic displays showed the statistics. Attacks on developing civilizations, 0. Wars between council species, none. Trade between worlds had increased by 300%. Scientific advancement had accelerated beyond all predictions. A report from the Science Guild appeared on the screens. The sharing of humanity's ancient knowledge had revolutionized medicine, environmental protection, and space travel. Diseases that had plagued species for millennia were being cured. Dying worlds were being restored. The black ships were still out there, but they had become symbols of safety rather than fear. When space pirates attacked a small trading fleet near the Outer Rim, a human ship appeared within minutes. The pirates surrendered without a fight. The Galactic Defense Force, Vale continued, now includes members from over 200 species. The display showed ships of various designs, not black and threatening like humanity's ancient vessels, but proudly bearing the new symbol of galactic peace. The Crimson Empire's representatives, now returned to the Council, stood to speak. Their once proud military empire had transformed into a center of trade and cultural exchange. We were wrong, their speaker admitted. In trying to prove our strength through dominance, we only proved our weakness. True strength lies in protecting others. From the human seat came a simple nod of acknowledgement. No gloating, no pride, just quiet satisfaction at a positive change. Reports continued to flow. Young civilizations that would once have been suppressed or destroyed were now reaching for the stars without fear. The Freedom of Development Treaty had given them a chance to grow at their own pace, protected by the combined strength of humanity and its allies. A small, newly spacefaring species had recently joined the Council. Their representative, still amazed at being among so many advanced races, spoke with genuine emotion. A year ago, we hid our technological advances, afraid of drawing attention. Today, we share our discoveries freely, knowing we are protected. This is the galaxy we dreamed of. The human representative finally stood to speak. The chamber fell silent. Human speeches were rare and always meaningful. 1 year ago, we revealed our strength because we had to. Today, we maintain that strength because we choose to. Not to threaten, but to protect. Not to dominate, but to preserve peace. He gestured to the displays showing the galaxy's progress. Our ancestors dreamed of a galaxy united not by fear, but by mutual respect and protection. They died before seeing that dream realized. Today we live it. The session ended with a ceremony that would have been impossible a year earlier. Species that had been bitter enemies for thousands of years signed new treaties of cooperation. The Galactic Defense Force welcomed its newest members. Research teams shared discoveries that would benefit all. As the representatives left the chamber, many passed by the human seat. Some nodded in respect. Others offered words of thanks. All understood that humanity's greatest strength had not been its advanced ships or powerful weapons. It had been patience, wisdom, and the determination to build a better galaxy for all. The new dawn had truly begun, and this time it would last.